Okay, so picture this. Early 2025, AI's obviously huge already, right? But then, almost like out of nowhere, the whole tone changes. You suddenly get these really deep reflections dropping from Anthropic, DeepMind, Microsoft, all the big names.
Yeah, almost simultaneously it felt like.
Exactly. And you wonder, okay, what set that off? This sudden wave of like introspection. And believe it or not, it seems to trace back to just one lecture. A pretty quiet one, apparently, in Cambridge.
It's kind of wild, isn't it? Because, this wasn't some big flashy product launch or anything. It was Demis Hassabis from DeepMind giving a talk called Accelerating Scientific Discovery with AI. Pretty standard sounding title, actually.
Right. Doesn't scream paradigm shift.
Not at all. But the sources we've been digging into, they suggest that title barely hinted at what he was really getting at. The ideas he put forward, they just clicked, resonated really deeply across the AI research world.
Yeah, that's the core of it. It wasn't just about speeding up science, like crunching data faster. It was about the very essence of the science itself.
How AI might change how we understand fundamental things, like, life itself.
Exactly. He mentioned AlphaGo, of course, the AI that mastered Go. Amazing, but still within a defined problem space.
A very complex game, but yeah, defined rules.
But then he shifted to AlphaFold. And that's where you see this different way of thinking emerge.
Okay.
AlphaGo was about winning a game. AlphaFold started actually, unraveling basic biological structures.
Yeah.
Proteins.
And that's a huge leap, right? Connecting it to the bigger picture, AlphaFold predicting millions of protein structures. That wasn't just making biology research a bit quicker.
No way.
One source we looked at put it really powerfully, described it as something like the beginning of life, understanding life through artificial extensions of itself.
Wow. Okay, that's...
Kind of blurred the line, didn't it, between just observing data and gaining real biological insight. It hinted that AI could be more than just a really, really smart tool.
Right, more than just acceleration. And Hassabis apparently posed this really compelling question. What if AI could help us digitally imagine?
Imagine what, specifically?
Well, biology, for starters, but also things like memory, maybe even consciousness.
Okay, so really fundamental concepts.
Yeah, it's not just about faster processing. It's about whether AI could, partner with us somehow to help us grasp these huge ideas.
And that does raise a big question about what understanding even means in this context. Hassabis wasn't claiming AI had consciousness or anything like that. He wasn't delivering final answers.
No, it sounds more exploratory.
Exactly. More importantly, he was sort of opening doors, suggesting new ways to even think about these incredibly complex areas.
Right.
And apparently the discussion after the lecture, based on what we've gathered, really took off. People started connecting it to neuroscience, brain-machine interfaces, not with solutions, but just possibilities, sparked by this potential in AI.
And this is where it connects, right? Yeah. Because you can almost draw a line from that Cambridge talk to what happened next publicly.
How so?
Well, Anthropic starts putting out these pieces, thinking more seriously about AI consciousness potential. DeepMind itself, Shane Legg and Hassabis, they directly address the consciousness question too.
Right, I remember seeing some of that.
And even Microsoft, Mustafa Suleyman, started talking publicly about the bigger ethical picture, the societal stuff around really advanced AI.
So it wasn't just internal discussions, it bubbled up.
It seemed to. And one of our sources actually calls that Cambridge lecture the first branch of AGI Spring.
AGI Spring, that's evocative.
Isn't it? And the point wasn't to create hype, not immediate hype anyway. It was more about laying down a kind of philosophical groundwork.
Shifting the focus.
Yeah, moving away from AI as just like the ultimate task doer.
Automating things.
Towards AI as maybe an engine for fundamental discovery, real understanding.
So what does this mean for you listening? Why does this one lecture matter now?
Well, I think it suggests this wasn't just another day at the office, another academic talk.
Yeah.
It really seems to have acted as a catalyst.
A trigger point.
Exactly. It sparked a change in perspective inside these huge AI labs. They started looking beyond just efficiency gain.
Making things faster, cheaper.
Right. And started really wrestling with the deeper stuff. What does it mean that AI can understand complex systems? Maybe even life, maybe even eventually consciousness.
Absolutely. The sources really paint this period just after the lecture as one of serious reflection, triggered by Cambridge.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the next product cycle. It was about these fundamental questions. And that period of reflection, it seems crucial for how the whole AI conversation developed in early 2025.
Setting the stage.
Setting the stage for this AGI spring, this like blossoming of deeper thinking about artificial general intelligence, not just narrow AI anymore.
So if we pull it all together, this deep dive into that Cambridge lecture, it really highlights this pivotal shift in thinking. We saw AI's role transition from being a tool mainly for accelerations, like AlphaGo mastering a game.
Defined task, yeah.
To potentially being a partner. A partner in unlocking the secrets of biology, like with AlphaFold, and this whole idea of digitally imagining these basic concepts.
And the lecture looks like it was the initial spark, the thing that lit the fuse for these broader, more philosophical discussions across the big players in AI.
Precisely. Those themes Hassabis touched on, pushing the boundaries of knowledge, AI's potential role in studying imagination or memory, even those first nudges towards consciousness.
Yeah.
You see those echoed almost directly in the public statements that came later, from Anthropic, from DeepMind folks, from Microsoft.
So it wasn't some coordinated PR campaign.
It doesn't feel like it. Feels more like a kind of shared intellectual moment. An awakening, maybe? And the roots seem to be right there in that Cambridge talk.
It's quite a thought.
Which kind of leads us to a final idea for you, the listener, to think about. We've seen what AI can do, right? Performing tasks, speeding things up incredibly.
For sure.
But what are the implications if AI starts fundamentally changing how we understand? Understand ourselves, understand the world.
That's the deeper question.
If AI can offer us this kind of digital mirror, like one source hinted, to help us maybe comprehend something as mysterious as consciousness, what other massive, seemingly impossible mysteries might suddenly become clearer through that lens? It shifts the focus, doesn't it? It's not just about what AI can do. It's about what it might help us understand.